Ladies and gentlemen, the beef is brewing. The Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics have only had one game in this series, but after a little bit of a controversial play, the Celtics are not ducking any smoke. Payton Pritchard and Jaylen Brown are standing up for their teammate Jayson Tatum and that Caleb Martin player. We're going to be breaking it down because even though the Celtics have gone against the Heat in the last 3 out of the 4 Eastern Conference Finals, it is getting chippy, it is getting physical, and Game 2 is going to be a fantastic showing. So we're going to be breaking down all the beef brewing between these two teams in this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz, but before we dive in on all of this news, 65% of our viewers are not subscribed, so we'd greatly appreciate it if you guys hit that subscribe button as we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the playoffs. And as you guys know, the Celtics are going deep into the playoffs this year, and we're doing live watch-alongs. We'll have one tomorrow, so make sure to tune in and come hang out with us if you enjoy the content. But without further ado, let's dive into the topic at hand today. Make sure to grab a snack as it is going to be a jam-packed episode. But the topic at hand today is the beef is brewing. Like I mentioned in the introduction, the Celtics and the Heat are clashing heads once again, but this time not in the Eastern Conference Finals, in the first round of the playoffs. And it was a good game, little gritty, little nitty. There was a little dirty play that I will say with Bam Adebayo sending a little bit of a screen running into Derrick White in the fourth quarter. In my honest opinion, that was take the starters out. We don't want anybody getting hurt, yada, yada, yada. But and as we all know, what happened with Caleb Martin and all that stuff, Caleb Martin made that little cautious play with Jayson Tatum, trying to, jump up. Jayson Tatum fell awkwardly. It got into a little heated discussion. The refs had to get into it. Jaylen Brown was sticking up. And today we got some more quotes at practice breaking that down because Payton Pritchard said on Martin's hit on Tatum saying that they think we like that. I think that was a joy to watch, saying that they're ducking no smoke. They are ready to go. Payton Pritchard, the 6'2 guy on this squad, the sixth man, is sticking up for his captain, and guys like Jaylen Brown said the same thing. JB said, I told them just to watch it. We know they like to play hard and be physical, but there's a line. And also had to say that said that that's what it's about. Know what I mean? We don't got to entertain the shenanigans, but at the same time, we're not going to go for nothing extra in that series. Just be professional. And in my honest opinion, I don't know if it was really dirty. As we want to look at the play and kind of break it down, Caleb Martin obviously runs into Jayson Tatum's leg, and Jayson Tatum falls back a little bit. Do I want to say that it's, 100% dirty? Did he 100% mean to do it? No. I believe that it was accidental. You can kind of see Jrue Holiday bump into him a little bit as the play happens. So he falls into him. I realistically don't think it was intentional. I don't think that Caleb Martin was trying to injure a guy in Jayson Tatum. But you do have to look at it from a Celtics standpoint. You have to understand here that we cannot have this happen. We cannot have these shenanigans and everything going on. We need to stay locked in. We need to stay focused. I don't like that we have these 2 days off in between these games. It's absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. Having to wait these 2 days is awful for the Boston Celtics because then you get your thoughts in your head. Then you get not comfortable. I mean, will the Heat be able to come back? Will they be able to fight and win a game? It allows the media heads to talk the masses, debate, and have all their talks about the Celtics while we just patiently wait. I want these games to go fast. I want this series to be over. I don't want to have no worries with the Miami Heat, and neither do the Boston Celtics. They are ready. They are ready to go, and they are fighting for this team. They're going to defend their boy Jayson Tatum. They're going to let nothing happen in their way, and they're not going to let Caleb Martin do anything. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Did you think that was a dirty play by Caleb Martin? Like I mentioned, do I think that it was necessary? No. Do I think that it was a dirty play? Do I think that it was intentional? No. Do I think that it was a little shaky? Yes. Do I think that they are playing a little extra physical because they have Jimmy Butler out and they want to, play a little bit harder? For sure, but don't be coming to injure our players and don't be trying to hurt us. If we want to look at what Joe Mazzulla had to say from Jose, he says that if you think you're going to see a different version of Miami, then you're kidding yourself. At the end of the day, it's about giving what that game needs and having the expectations that it's going to be a good fight. And Joe knows that this Heat team is physical. Like I said, he was an assistant coach with this team before he was the head coach with the Boston Celtics. He understands. He knows. He's seen us, last year going down 3-0 as the head coach sprung into action and tried to come back from that series. He saw the year before when he was the assistant coach when the Celtics won in Game 7 in Miami, got the shock. Everybody was ecstatic, and he obviously knows from back in the day in that bubble year where the Celtics had that big run and obviously lost to the Heat down there. The Celtics and Heat have had this rivalry. They've been clashing heads. They've been going at it once at for all for the past couple years, and it's kind of what's boosted and brewed this rivalry. And obviously, they know it's going to be a physical matchup. They know that Coach Spo wants to win these games, but the Celtics need to stay composed and need to stay focused. From what the Heat had to say about breaking this down, obviously, we're going to talk to Eric Spoelstra. He says that this is good, clean, tough, and physical playoff basketball, and it always has been with Boston. It's not going over the top. The league doesn't need to look into anything more on either side. They want this level of competition, saying that Martin's hit wasn't intentional. And that's what I have to agree. Yeah, it was a little dirty. Yeah, it was a little scrappy. Don't get me wrong. But I do not believe that it was intentional. People were saying that Spo called that timeout and was sending him over to make that dirty play. I don't think so. I don't think Spo would intentionally tell him to hurt one of our players or do something dirty like that. And if he did, that's absolutely ridiculous. And all Heat fans would be furious to hear that come out of their coach's mouth, because you don't want to hear that as an NBA fan. I'm not wishing any ill will on any of the players. I don't want to see any of our competition get hurt. I want the best and fairest series. Yeah, if they're hurt, will it make it a little bit better for the Boston Celtics? For sure. But we want to see these guys healthy. We want to see the Celtics rise to their best competition and prove to the NBA that regardless of who you throw at them, that this juggernaut is ready to take them down. And like he said, it's going to be a physical series. It's going to be a tough one. It is not going over the top. It's the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. As we've seen in the last couple of games, looking at last night, look at the games between the Knicks and the Sixers. There was a lot of physical play late in that game, and nothing was called. Look at the Nuggets and Lakers game last night. There was a lot of physical play, and nothing was called. So the referees are going to let things go, and slide. I think what made it a little bit scary is the way that Jayson Tatum fell, the way that the fans' reaction was that he landed on his back. No one wanted to see him extend like that and fall basically on his tailbone, but we're A-okay. Joe Mazzulla already came out and said that he is going to be ready to go and play for this Boston Celtics team tomorrow. So I am ecstatic to see our guy JT there. Lastly, before we get to the important part, we're going to be breaking down what Caleb Martin had to say, saying, I don't feel the need to take out guys in order to beat somebody. The first thing I did was turn around and check that he was okay, and that's not who I am. If the roles were switched, I don't think anybody would have been calling it a code red, and there he is. And that's true. If Caleb Martin had fell, no one would be calling it a bad call. He is exactly right, and you did see that. He did try to help him up. He did extend his arm. Obviously, Jayson Tatum's not going to take it. He felt like it was a little dirty. And, teams, that's how NBA is. You don't accept the other team's hand to get back up. You only accept your teammate's hand. That's how the game works. But a guy like Caleb Martin, even though he did do good versus the Boston Celtics, even though having a bad game, he might want to have those intentions, I desperately don't think he is. Let us know what you think down below in the comment section. Do you guys think that it was intentional by Caleb Martin? I don't think it is, but I do agree that it was a dirty play and that the beef is brewing between these teams. They're ready to go. They're clashing heads. They already have been, and it's the Heat and this fuel for the fire is only getting warmer. We're only into game one, ladies and gentlemen. We've only seen one game, and there's no Jimmy Butler. Let's wait and see how this team responds in Game 2. As Joe Mazzulla said, it's going to be more physical. But without further ado, before we finish the video, you guys know we got to get to the comment of the day. Like I mentioned in this video, drop a comment down below so you could be featured for the next comment of the day. And today's comment of the day is from Random Handle IG, who I know is Celtics Roblox. Celtics Roblox, thank you so much for leaving such a fantastic comment. But he said that if Jimmy Butler was not injured, we would have won this series in 6 or 7. But because he's out the whole series, he is predicting a sweep from the Boston Celtics. And Celtics Roblox, that's kind of how I was thinking. I thought that this series was going to be a 6-game series regardless without Jimmy Butler. Then we see how this team is. We see how they are working us down low, and it's looking like the Celtics will be able to get it done, I believe, in 5 games. Now, I have now changed my opinion. I do think that the Miami Heat will take one game in 3 or 4. They'll have a good shooting night. Let's not forget that they shot atrocious from 3 in game 1. They're going to have a good shooting night one of these nights. And as we all know, the Celtics can fall asleep from the three-pointer in occasion. So don't be shocked if the Heat take one game from the Celtics. But I do believe that the Celtics will get it done, win their game 2, and then win game 5 and secure the series versus the Heat. But let us know your thoughts down below in the comments. Like I said, if you guys enjoy the content, hit the subscribe button as we're pushing for 4,000 subscribers by the end of the playoffs. And come join us in the live stream tomorrow as we do have a live watch-along breaking down the Celtics versus Heat. It will be exciting. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Velez, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and go Boston Celtics. Peace out, everybody.